Hey, what's up guys? So finally, I was up at 2 a.m. for an actual good reason because the Black Widow teaser trailer dropped. I didn't even know it was gonna drop. I thought that Scarlett Johansson was gonna like go on some kind of talk show and release it there, but they just released it like out of the blue, or at least to me, I had an idea that they were going to release it tomorrow. Everybody was talking about it last week that so many trailers, including this one, was going to drop. I'm excited to talk about it. I have been hyped about this movie for a while. I think it has major Winter Soldier potential, and I think after seeing this trailer that it's going to live up to it. It's giving me major Winter Soldier vibes, which is always a good thing. I am like really excited to explore a little bit more into Natasha's past, even though this isn't an exact prequel. It's between Civil War and Infinity War that this movie is going to be taking place, and I believe it's going to have something to do with Natasha like getting all that red out of her ledger, or at least trying to make up for it in some type of way. I really enjoyed this teaser trailer. It didn't give you too much, gave you a good amount to look at, and it didn't give away really anything. I'm excited for that. May 2020, probably it might even get released in April, I don't know, but I'm excited. So let's get right into this breakdown. Now first off, we get a shot of someplace, I believe in Budapest, followed by a narration from Natasha, basically that whole line she gave in Avengers Endgame about how before she used to have nothing, then she got this job, and then she had a family. And I feel kind of bad because after probably Avengers, I just straight up started sleeping on Black Widow, and then Avengers Endgame came out and I'm like, why was I sleeping on this woman? Her sacrifice really hit me, and I'm really excited to see how this movie will make that even more impactful. I feel like everything Black Widow after the events of this movie in Infinity War and in Endgame is just going to be 10 times amplified after we watch this movie. And we see her staring at herself in the mirror. We get a Black Widow style Marvel Studios logo, which is simple but cool. Next we see Natasha at some train station, which I believe she is in Ireland in this shot. I believe because there's a whole bunch of those flags around, and over that we get a narration from Thunderbolt Ross, and I believe he's talking to Natasha or referring to her in this little narration, probably having to do with after Civil War when she was a double agent and she actually helped out Team Cap, and she was in like a whole bunch of shit at the end of that movie, probably referring to that. Next we see an armored convoy rolling up on some kind of rural area. Next we get to see Ross, and from the look of it and from the language of the text, I like just googled what the text was on the truck in the back, and I believe he might be in Hungary because that's what the text said. It looks kind of weird to me, honestly. Thunderbolt Ross, I think they're using that de-age tech on him, and I know this is supposed to be in the past, but he doesn't look too different from now to then, so I don't know why they're doing that. He looks a lot younger. He looks even younger in this shot than he did in Civil War, so I'm like, is this something that's happening like before? Like, are they throwing it back like even before Civil War and everything? That could be interesting. Maybe that is the case. Next we see Natasha going through a whole bunch of different IDs that she has, just all the aliases and different identities that she's gone by in the past. I mean, I see a paper there that is like, I think written in Hebrew. I see a paper there that says Vietnam. I see California ID. I see a passport for Ireland and the United Kingdom. So I don't know if she's going to all these places or they're just talking about all the places that she's been to. And judging by what she's wearing in this scene, it looks like she is in the same place that we saw in those leaked set photos like a while back. We finally get to see Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh. Very cool action scene. I think this movie is gonna like take the cake with action, very much in the same vein as Winter Soldier. And that movie, that was some of the best action. That was the best action, like hand-to-hand combat that we've seen in the MCU so far. Fighting, kind of playing off the fact that, you know, sisters fight, you know, and they go hard. I think both of them have knives, or maybe Yelena's the only one with a knife, but they're basically looks like they're going for the throat. They're trying to kill each other. And I think Natasha like flip throws her into some door and the glass breaks, and I don't know why, that's just so satisfying. I love it when stuff like that happens. We see again that armored convoy coming, and it looks like they're heading towards Natasha. She's in some field with a whole bunch of debris, and she's wearing that new updated black suit with the gold wrist, which looks absolutely dope. And I'm gonna need an explanation. Maybe she gives this suit to Yelena, and Yelena is going to be the next Black Widow. I think that's honestly the case because, I mean, Florence Pugh is like Tom Holland's age. She's super young, and you're just gonna put her in this movie when she could probably potentially carry another, or carry this Black Widow trilogy. Like, she could be the Black Widow for the next movie and for the next movie, and in Avengers down the line. I think she's very talented, so why not put her in the future of the MCU as the new Black Widow? It looks like whatever she's around is maybe like an airplane or pieces of an airplane, or maybe even a helicarrier. We get a quick shot of either Natasha or Rachel Weisz's character in some kind of control room, kind of like there's a whole bunch of maps with a whole bunch of red dots on them. I don't know if this is like a hit list. I don't know what kind of maps they could be, but it looks like this is where they go to take orders from like the head honcho of the whole whole operation. We finally get to see the white suit in motion, and it is absolutely gorgeous. The white suit from the comics, it looks super dope. Can't wait to see more of that. A quick shot of a room full of women in Black Widow gear, and I'm guessing this has something to do with the Red Room, and I'm guessing these are other Black Widows as well. Then we get the man of the hour, Grandmaster Taskmaster in the flesh, and he's in one of those armored convoys, and we see him with a huge bow and arrow. That totally gets me thinking of Hawkeye, so I don't know if that was intentional or not. I don't know if Hawkeye is going to be in the movie. I would really love to see him in the movie, maybe in a flashback or something. Yeah, major Hawkeye vibes. I really can't wait to see more of Taskmaster and his fighting style and how he's going to be copying all the Black Widow's moves. I hear that something like that was released at, I think, D23 or some kind of expo a while back ago, that he was actually shown fighting Natasha and, you know, kicking her ass by mastering her moves. Who he's working for, which I think maybe he's working for S.H.I.E.L.D. or some offshoot of S.H.I.E.L.D. Definitely, probably, more than likely, Thunderbolt Ross's control. Maybe he defects. We see Alexei Shostakov or Hopper busting out of that door. It looks like he's getting held at some kind of prison. I'm thinking that's why they're actually at that whole snow place or whatever where that avalanche is taking place. Maybe they're going to break him out, and that's Black Widow's whole plan. She needs other Black Widows and her family to help her do whatever she's got to do. We see the Red Guardian put on his suit for the first time, and I think the suit looks actually really dope. Obviously, it's from back in the day, or like when he, you know, he was in his prime. Now he's all, you know, Hopper with 3 C's thick, but it still fits. He's still good. I really can't wait to see him in the MCU and see, you know, what the Russian Captain America has to offer, and I think it's going to be really exciting. And he also mentions at that little dinner table, which I think is after the fact that they actually go and break him out of whatever prison he's being held at. Now, I don't know if they're blood relatives or they've just been through a lot of crazy shit that they're so close that they're basically family, because in the comics, I believe Red Guardian was, before he turned to Red Guardian, Natasha's husband, and I don't know if Yelena or the character that Rachel Weisz is playing is even related to her ever in the comics. Yelena, I believe, was actually trained to take over for Black Widow, like to take her out, I believe. We get that joke about Hopper with the 3C thickness, and then we actually see him fighting Taskmaster, which I think is going to be so damn dope. Maybe that's why they're getting Alexei, so that he can actually handle Taskmaster, because he's the only one, I believe, that's enhanced with some kind of Russian super soldier serum. I can also see Taskmaster's shield on the floor in the background, and I can't imagine that there's not a Captain America shield reference at all in this movie. I think he also has his own version of the shield, so I'd be surprised to see if we actually do end up seeing that. I think it would be super dope. And the last thing we see is Natasha jumping off from this super high structure, like super high in the air, possibly a helicarrier or some kind of craft. She's falling off, dodging debris on the way down, and she's getting chased by these goons. I don't know who these goons are working for. They look kind of like old Hydra soldiers, but not really. I don't know. And I believe this scene is before when we see that convoy rolling up on her and we see her in that field. And another thing too is that I can't really remember it at the top of my head, but I believe the Red Guardian was part of a group, like a special enhanced human group called like the Winter Guard. I believe Crimson Dynamo was a part of it, and this other character called Ursa or Ursa Major, and he was like a mutant, I think, that could like turn into a bear. So I would love to see something crazy like that happen in this movie, because it's an espionage movie, a spy movie, and I like when things get a little bit fantastical, a little bit, oh, that is crazy that that's there, like Ant-Man going giant in Civil War, like that was crazy to me, and I want to see something like that. So if that character is in there or at least gets referenced, I'll be really happy, because that's just one of those weird things. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as I can see, guys. This movie is going to be taking place between Infinity War and Endgame. Like I said, I think this is going to give us a lot of closure for Black Widow. If you thought in Endgame that her death was kind of abrupt, I think we'll know from this movie that she didn't die in vain. As far as any resurrections go, I don't think anything is going to happen with resurrections. The thing about it is Scarlett Johansson is so damn young that she could be playing this character for at the very least 5 more years. Whether or not she wants to do it, I don't know. Would I like for her to come back? Yes, I would, but yeah, we'll all have to wait and see. Other than that, I think it's a very solid teaser trailer. I love the way it's shot. I'm really excited to see another MCU spy movie. We're getting another Winter Soldier, basically. Now, I'm not going to say it that it's going to be as good as the Winter Soldier. I think it has the potential to be. We're going to have to wait and see, obviously. I really can't wait. I'm really stoked about it. And let me know what you guys thought of the trailer itself, whether or not you're hyped, and if you're going to go see Black Widow, or if you're just not excited about it and you're not going to go. That's pretty much it, guys. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want to subscribe, I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.